Yo, we're fucking on. That was a little quicker than what I thought. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the NOTNFTNYC experience. You have no idea. So much has changed since then. So, like, I don't know what to say other than you guys literally lit a fire under our asses. I mean, we came back with like 100 new ideas, 100 new initiatives, 100 new things that we're implementing. And I don't mean just like we're thinking about doing this stuff. I mean, we came back from that like we are doing this and just fucking hit the ground running on it. I mean, meetings, activations, the work behind the scenes, the figuring out how it's going to get done, and then just fucking executing. I don't know. I mean, today's show is going to be like a regular show. I mean, we're definitely going to talk about NFT and NYC a little bit. But we still got some things in the market that we got to touch. I mean, we got to touch the market. But I don't know, man. I'm going to go through all of the chats right now. But I'm going to kick it off to Eddie and Britt. Eddie and Britt, how the fuck are you all feeling after not NFT NYC?
Feels amazing. Oh man, I'm so riding that high. How about you, Ed?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to still post, a lot of edits, a lot of good stuff to capitalize. I mean, it was our 4th year and it was our best year. And I don't know if we've started talking about the next year as quick as we did this time. So it was like talking about 2026 already, talking about what's coming for the end of this year. And yeah, I feel rejuvenated, like you said, all the new relationships, rekindled old relationships, and yeah, old sponsors, old alumni coming back for NOTNFTNYC. It was great. It was blessed.
Shout out to the old, shout out to the new, and shout out to everybody else who hasn't experienced it yet. We hope to see you next year.
And we went crazy. People walked away with so much more value than you can possibly walk away.
We gotta do a serious unboxing, a serious show for the timeline for sure.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, I was just kind of going over it in my head, like, what was the value? What value did folks walk away with? And, I mean, there were tons of ways to get it. Number one, I mean, if you are, and I know it was just an art project that I did. It was for fun. It was to give people a cool PFP. But if you had a Trenches and you got a free ticket, and there's not just Trenches, there were other people who were able to get some free tickets. But if you got a free ticket, if you were part of the Trenches community and you use that code and you're like, okay, I'm paying attention, I'm active, I'm being a part of this, the first thing you got was a $22 ticket for free. Because the shit we did charge for tickets for it's $22 right off the bat for free. And then after that, we put a ticket in everybody's bag. If you got there early enough, you got a bag for a beer, and the beers they were charging $9 for. All right, so that's already insane.
It was a good Brooklyn lager.
Yeah, it was a good Brooklyn lager. I was not upset. And then you got at least anywhere from $4 to $50 worth of Bitcoin. Is that what I understood? Is what we put inside the bags?
Shit, more now since Bitcoin's going up.
Back to 109, yeah.
Number goes up, and then you got a $20 airdrop from the boys out there at Dank. Shout out Dank for that.
Oh wait, well, hold on. While we're on Dank, haven't you noticed a lot of memes have been going around? People with the grills and the bust downs, and that was like that's Dank. That's Dank memes. Like when I see that, I'm like, oh, they were literally popping these off while we we're in New York, and I was seeing a bunch of different ones pop up. So now that I'm seeing KOLs and stuff show it, I'm like, oh, they've been paying attention. If you're not looking at the NOTNFTNYC post, you're at least looking at some Dank memes. That's what we can guarantee.
Well, you know what, man? We have quietly set the meta for years at this point, and I'm tired of straying away from it. Seriously, I am. We have set the tone for things where I feel like people are like, oh, look, there's a little piece of the culture that we see in that. We're going to grab that. And then, and I'm not even mad at it. And then they expand on it and it turns into something. I'm not upset about that at all, but I think more people pay attention than we realize. And I think they stay straight. And then they just pick little components of our shit and then fucking throw it up.
Yeah, you can't copy dank memes, so we already got the official partnership, so can't copy dank memes.
So
they can pick what they like and leave the rest. We're flattered. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I also want to thank you guys for like leaning into all the finance stuff too, because I feel like that came really fast, but it came at a time where I feel like everybody's leaning into it. I'm even looking at Spaces host and like KOLs from like 2021, like posting TradFi tickers. You know what I'm saying? And it's different now, and I'm even seeing like people are, like you said, they watch a little bit and they take a little bit here and there, but I am seeing a little more appreciation in the space for like regular businesses and traditional crypto companies and stuff like that. So I'm excited. There's a lot of opportunity, and the way that my panel went and Brittany's panel went right after, that I felt like was an early visual of what the conference could turn into over a long period. And I think like it's going to get to the point where it's not going to be a lot of work at all to put this thing together. And I know we have a small team, but this step is the right step. And we're literally like, we're at the forefront of it. And so like, how did you feel about that, Laura? Like, how did you feel about the finance and crypto thing at first? And how do you feel about it now?
Well, again, the other shout out that I have to give to adding value was Business Coin, which by the way pumped today. Somebody went in there and lifted that chart up really high. But how did I feel about it before, and how do I feel about it after? Before, skeptical isn't the word that I would use. It was more like, how do we fit this in, and how is it going to work? Like how is it going to play out? How is it going to be? Because we have to be honest with ourselves. We have primarily spoken to a traditionally crypto crowd. But I think that you're right in saying that like this came at the perfect time, and we're kind of bridging this intersection right now at a term that I believe Brittany coined, cross community pollination, where we're crossing the communities between crypto and TradFi. I think you guys.
And then on top of that, NFTs and permissionless same week.
Yes.
Is that not the same cross pollination that we were doing? Like,
exactly. I love that we're here now, because it seems like for so long we were in our little crypto bubble. We really didn't have that regulation that we needed, and the market, TradFi markets, DeFi markets, completely separate because of Gary Gensler and because of the cabinet that we had at that time. Now I feel like we are in the beginning of the gold rush. This is everything that we wanted it to be. And this is the converging time where literally we are at the intersection, and NFTNYC, not NFTNYC, couldn't have been at more of a perfect time. We're coming back in July. We see the cryptos are saying this is going to be a massive month for crypto. This is going to be huge. We just came back. We got Circle and Ripple applying for banking charters. Like it's just so much that we couldn't be more ahead of trend and right on time at the same time.
Yeah, and I think at some point we're going to have to talk about what type of banking certificate or whatever it is that they're applying for, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. So now, how do I feel about it after? Now that it's done, and by the way, I want to point out Eddie and Britt were talking about this stuff way before your favorite KOL. I mean, months ago they were already dropping this, like, hey, this is important, this is why it's important, this is what's going on. So now that it's happened after, I think what it's done is it's fucking excited me to a whole new level. I think that it's made it to where it's like, okay, this is something that we can replicate over and over and over again across several different sectors, whether that be crypto and tech, or tech and finance, or crypto and finance. I just see a way where we're able to kind of blend all of this together, and it's something that we can repeat. And then it's got me like 10 times more excited for next year, because I mean, we've already started like going down like a sponsor list of people that we want to attack, and it's just been in one area, and I'm looking forward to getting to that next one. But there's also something else that Brittany kind of enhanced this year that I thought was extremely important, that I was so happy that we did this year was the product demos. I think product demos are going to be a huge part of what we do next year as well, or any other conference that we do. I felt like it was a huge hit for the speakers, but I also feel like it was a huge hit for the audience. I felt like they walked away entertained in a way that they were like, yo, I can't believe I saw this first here. And the interaction that they were able to have between the audience and the panelists. The fact that that was one thing that I really loved about this year that I felt was a little different than previous years was that people came to hear these speakers and they came with questions. And so they would hear these presentations and they would be like, yo, I got a question about that. And so there would be these follow-ups that would happen after that. So how do I feel after? I think the word is inspired. I think the way that I feel after is inspired about like where we're going to take this next, and what it's going to look like in the future. And so inspired, by the way, that I'm like, I made the ballsy thing in a meeting this time. I said, what if we buy NFTNYC? That's how bullish I am on it, because I'm like, I think we could like absolutely reform it and turn it around. But I don't know.
You're gonna have to take out a big old loan for that.
But hey, that would be amazing content, right? Like, oh no, we're let's see how far we could take it to make it happen. But I don't know, man. That's kind of what I walked away with. That's my overall impression of it. I'd love to get more from you guys' side of kind of what you got, and then I've got an opening clip for us.
I love that you say that about the panelists in the audience, because although all of our panelists came or are attached to very strong businesses in the space, you know, you had Evan from the Rise Up Morning Show, Cam from Rad TV, Ashley from Quirkies and the AI Agents, Brittany from Pog Digital. I mean, we have so much talent, but because it's not a paid for position, their companies are not paying to get them on a stage. They really get to share their own insight. So they are experts in their own right. They don't have to show their company, and they get to provide their knowledge and kind of get them back and forth without having it be a business thing. It's more of a, here's a stage for yourself, not your business. And it's not really a shill. As Laura mentioned, we do have demos and stuff, but that benefits the audience, the business, and the like. But just having that stage be for themselves and not for the business, I think is huge.
Yeah, you also, I feel like this could be this could turn into a real premier conference every year because of like the caliber of people that have come through every year.
Absolutely.
And it's always different too. And I was telling Laura before the show, we were talking a little bit, and we were talking about like becoming an expert in something. And it seems that if been around in AI and crypto over the last 4 years, you become somewhat of an expert because information is traveling so fast. They're not even able to put this into schools and give degrees out and give certifications for it. You have to learn on the fly and learn fast because it's going to change too. So not only what you learned in the last year or two is possibly not going to help in the next 2 years, but you're having to learn this stuff at a new rate. You're having to share it just at a faster rate so that people can adopt it. And then that adoption creates faster change. And it's basically creating small niche experts in everything that we're doing, whether it be meme coins, whether it be AI, whether it be stable coins, Bitcoins. And that's where these panels come in handy, because we're handpicking people who have expertise in these like niche subjects.
I think the investing space in general is that space, because you don't really hear about investing growing up. You don't get taught it. It's not a, here's your taxes and you're investing 101 in high school. You really, yeah, you get a business, you can get your business degree in college, but they don't really teach you how to trade the market, how to invest. You have to go to business school for that. And a lot of people are not going to continue their education. So if you have that desire, you have to become an expert and kind of self-taught. Thank God for forums, crypto, Twitter, and the like now connecting us, especially YouTube, connecting us and teaching everybody their own bit of, hey, learn this. This is your freedom. This is your 9 to 5. When people say investing is so not sexy, is so not exciting, how do you get excited about this? I'm like, this is literally your freedom. This is the way to exit the matrix. And if you're not like, this is the gold rush again, this is your time, you're front running the banks right now. If you're not paying attention, you're doing yourself a huge disservice.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me see, I'm just typing something out. So yeah, and speaking about like products and the shout out to all the sponsors, everybody. I mean, you can go and look through the everything that we've had. But shout out to all of our sponsors who did it. Shout out the Kingdoms for coming through, dropping off all kinds of BTC silver, giving away Xbox and PlayStation.
Shout out Unreal Kingdoms, legends.
Mutants and Fusion for doing their product demo. And speaking of that, and growing the conference and stuff, I really think we should lean into some businesses and business ideas. In fact, I would love to start off with our show here. What do I got to do? Every time it's a struggle. This is why we need a producer. But no, that was 619. We are so beyond 619. It's wild. All right. So you guys know I love the streaming community. And I think that we would do well to have some more businesses come up here and do product demos and things like that. And here's the first one that I would like to invite as a streamer and a product demo. Here we go. Meet my
open
friend.
a business or something.
Hell
Sell
yeah.
LED signs or something.
Nah, I want to make noodles.
Noodles.
Nah, I'm not even joking.
Are you good at it?
I'm that gonna make noodles.
What type? What
I
type?
like to eat. I like to eat noodles.
I prepare now. What type of noodles?
Like cup noodles, everything, like good noodles. Feel me,
Bro.
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie to
ramen.
you. Somebody will probably reach out to you after this. If you did your own like CPG cup of noodles right now at your current state, you would go crazy.
It would actually.
Wait,
it would
CP
go
what?
Consumer product goods.
Yeah, like
What's that?
packaged consumer package.
Like good
goods,
package.
which-
Consumer
Yeah.
packaged goods.
That's about to do it.
What was that last part?
I'm about to do it.
You need to do it. Like
Nah,
if you
I'm-
did it
I'm about
right
to do it.
now.
Oh, you. Oh,
I'm about.
sick.
I'm working on it right now.
Oh, they're giving a thumbs up.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing.
go crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is it called Raised Noodles?
You call ramen noodle.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah, you're gonna be really
Raymond
good.
instead of
Can you-
ramen,
okay.
that's hard.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah, it's crazy. Can you?
You know,
That's
somebody.
insane.
And I want in. I want in.
You know what I mean?
I want in.
Oh shit.
Can you
I
imagine?
want in.
There's like a Dirk song too where he's like something about Raymond too, like but he's doing a wordplay on
And he
moment.
rhymes it. We're like, how did you rhyme that?
No, he killed that.
Shout out Ray though. He's from Taiwan, and let me tell you, everything breakfast, lunch, dinner is all cup of noodle. That's it. Like obviously MSG, but the 7-Elevens over there are like hometown buffets. Like they got everything, and yeah, that's a good business plan. I would get in on that.
And so after that, they were like,
Raymond
look, if you're the face of it, so this is Jake, and then if you're the face of it, what we'll do is we'll license it back to you. He's like, I don't know about that. He's like,
Yeah,
old people are
no.
always trying to take advantage of young people. And so he's like clowning on them because they're old and shit. It was brilliant. But again,
I
it's
like
really-
Raymond. He really put Taiwan on the map for Americans. Nobody in America really talks about Taiwan. They think it's China, but I actually do appreciate that streamers are showing people, Americans, a whole different part of the world and different countries. It's just beautiful to see.
Yeah, man. So I would love, Ray, this is an open invitation. If you'd like to, by the time you launch it, if you'd love to bring your stream to NOTNFTNYC or another conference that we're having.
Do a
doing
little taste test.
so, yes, we would
Who
absolutely.
doesn't know how huge he is?
Yeah, he's big.
he's really big. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that's my funny clip to start the day off. But how fucking cool, man. I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing that kid succeed. I live off of that. I live vicariously through others all the time, and I'm just happy to see him fucking win. Ramen noodles, brilliant fucking idea. Bro,
yeah,
we
you know,
got-
when I see small startups and stuff come about, it always makes you think of like where's, you know, like if you're not big like Ray and you're not able to even get on a show like whatever Logan Paul or whoever that was, one of them, right? One of the Pauls. If you're not able to get on one of these shows and you're not able to finance yourself, like where does your finances come from and stuff? Because there was a company called Robinhood back in the day that couldn't get anybody to invest in their company, you know, like because you need money to get all these certs. And then you look up today, you know, years, let's see, when did they? I mean, not even 5 years later after they've IPO'd, they've been through the ditch and they're at $100. It's like, oh man, like you really got to think about some of these smaller companies that they might be the big companies, you know, and they're always knocking it out the park, because when you think about how technology advances, like Barnes and Noble should have been the best book company online, but then Amazon became the best company online. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Walmart should have been like the best company, like to jump online with their retailers and that, like changed everything when online came. It wasn't Walmart who won. You know, we have other big retailers that are out there, and it just makes you think, like, it doesn't matter if you're a small guy or a big guy. Like, you really do have to take a look at a business model, what's going on, and you can kind of figure out some stuff. So I mean, I ain't trying to invest into any packaged food, to be honest, but there are good things out there that you can invest in on the stock market, undervalued, that kind of fit the same purpose. So yeah,
All you need is a little conviction.
you really got to keep your eye open too.
Of Robinhood and good stuff to invest in. What happened, bro? What happened?
I love it. More. I love it.
I'm so excited to hear that.
Sam is evil.
He's so evil. So I love that he openly said that on crypto Twitter. Obviously, Vlad responded. He says, "No, that's right, but like, this is what's actually going on." People like Sam Altman do not want to democratize finance for all. People like Vlad genuinely want us all to have access to the American dream, to be able to get up out of our 9-to-5 slave wage. Like, it's two different kind of billionaires that we're dealing with.
This is what this even says to me, though, is that you have no idea even how derivatives and things could work in the background. It's like, yes, you did sell private equity, but what Robinhood just made is basically a liquidity marketplace for private companies. And the way they're able to do that is because they own it through a specialized vehicle, right? So they actually own this. Like, I believe it was 1 million OpenAI and 500,000 shares of Starlink. But I mean, it's just funny because they're able to announce this. People are able to participate in it. And then a hater from the back of the room, nobody was even talking to, nobody asked you for permission, that's just so crypto, right? I didn't have to ask you permission. You can't shut me up about it. It's immutable. And Robinhood came out in just big cypherpunk style, just allowed people to access these markets. And even though USA citizens cannot access this right now, it's still a big move forward to show other institutions, hey, you don't have to play ball 100%. You can play ball up front, and in the background, you can do some other stuff and make the tech work a little bit for you and kind of get better results. And like, maybe this isn't the final straw, but this is definitely a step in the right direction of what we've been talking about, tokenizing securities.
And I love that in Vlad's not clap back, but in his response, he says, you know, this was our way to plant seeds for something much bigger to come. And we've actually already had private equity reaching out to us because they want to work with us and they want to democratize finance. They don't want it to be behind a gate wall or behind accredited investor type situation that you can't have any access to private credit, to private debt if you're not an accredited investor. So this is a way to like kind of get around that, not skirt the law, but to, you know, use these loopholes to your advantage. And with this kind of blockchain technology, this would not have even been possible before. So it's insane that this is now, you know, available for certain EU users.
Yeah, and then the other thing too that I wanted to jump on is that when I read it and it said I was going to ask Eddie to explain it to me a little bit, but when it said a vehicle, I'll be honest, I'm a degenerate. I don't know a lot, so I was like, fuck, I want to jump in the fucking car too. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say vehicle, my first line of thinking is car, and I'm like, yeah, bro, they're letting everybody jump in the car on this. These guys are pissed off about it, and you don't own it. Now, these are tokens, so it's going to be a lot different than a stock. And so my question to you is how or what would happen? I don't know. I have a lot of questions on this. Is one, when people own stock, they're kind of able to have a say in the company. That's obviously not going to be true with this because it's a token. But what you will see is buy and sell pressure based on decisions that OpenAI makes in general. That's going to affect the token price of it. And then the other point, so I would love for you to explain that to me more about that vehicle. And then the other point is that everyone expected, and they acted like it was an absolute free fall of the Robinhood stock, because they got this statement from OpenAI, and you know they were predicting that it was going to fall, and it really didn't. It's still up in the 90s.
We're still holding
because there's still the prediction, right, that they're going to join the S&P 500 at some point. So I'm wondering if we can tackle these one by one. Eddie, if you can help me understand the vehicle thing, if my line of thinking is saying that what happens with OpenAI is going to affect the token price on this here and there through buy and sell pressure, and then that last part, please.
So as you know, like they've even created like event contracts, which basically track outcomes of events. So you can make a market for anything, right? If you can make a market for a yes or no question, you can make a market for a lot of things, right? And so what Robinhood has done is they've taken their own private shares and basically offered them out to users, right? This is kind of like a gift, to be honest, because what this allowed was them to basically create a new marketplace for these tokens. Now, they can set their own rules. I don't even know what they've purchased for these, and we don't know what they've sold them to people for, right? Or what they've allowed people to claim them for. But what we do know is they know what these prices are. And so by creating this marketplace, they're creating a whole liquidity market for private investors. Now, there's situations where private investors have been investing in a company for 10 years, 20 years, and they're waiting for an exit, right? But if you actually look forward to like what's going on in the private market, is some people have no way to like make that different, make it faster, make it happen faster. They have no way to even get rid of their shares. There's no secondary market. So Robinhood has created a secondary market for private shares. And that's the way you need to look at it. Now, these prices and the market value, these could be very different to the actual value of these private companies, but the fact that there's even a market for it is amazing, right? And so what they're offering is basically a right to have some of their shares when these are available, right? If this company ever became public, matter of fact, if the companies never became public, this market still exists for liquidity on the sidelines. So even people who are in there, like Robinhood, who just maybe they don't want to sell all their shares. They just want some sort of liquidity because they tied up a lot of money a long time ago when Elon Musk and Sam Altman created OpenAI, right? Or when Elon created Starlink, maybe they tied a lot of money up in there. This creates a secondary market where people can get liquidity on these private shares. So that alone solves the problem, right? And I mean, I can let Brittany talk a little bit if she wants to add on to that, but like that's where I'll leave it right there.
And I do want to get to Brittany, but where do you buy the token? Like, where do I buy this? Is this on eBay? Where do you get it?
EU only.
It was a giveaway for the ones
And
at the event, but
and the best part is it's in the app.
Okay, hold on. I apologize. I got a little cut when you said EU. Oh, you said EU only.
Yeah.
But the tokens at the event were giveaway. I don't know if it
What?
was
So they all got given away? It was an airdrop?
Yes, it was a giveaway.
Through the app.
Yeah, I don't know how they did
They didn't
it.
have to pay for it?
No, it was a giveaway. That was a blessing from Vlad. I think it was only for the people that were in the Catch Me If You Can event.
We gotta.
Okay, that was such a cinematic event. We gotta talk about that a little bit. They really did.
It was to catch a token.
Oh, to catch a token.
Yeah,
we're doing the play off of the
Catch
other
Me
one.
If You Can, because it was in Cannes. Yeah, that was cute.
All right, awesome. Beautiful. Is there anything else you guys want to add to that story?
While we are on the Robinhood event, just quickly, I do want to say that Robinhood also launched ETH and SOL for US customers, but unfortunately for California, it hasn't been rolled out yet. Somebody said that they're blaming the Democrats. If I live in a Democrat state, I said, now they said it's not available in New York or Maryland. So I don't know why it's not available for California yet, but hopefully soon. And yeah, then the stock tokens as well that we just spoke about. The whole thing was very cinematic. He was dressed up like a billionaire. I love how he leans into that role sometimes. It was like a fashion show for a financial product. It was crazy.
Also, just want to note, we called this months ago too when people were discussing where Robinhood would build their RWA blockchain, and we said it would be on Arbitrum, L2, ETH. No matter what, that's where it's going.
Run the tip.
People keep saying Sol. I've seen it all the time, so many times, and I have to stop people. Like
Why
nobody.
Did you pick ARB? Why did you pick ARB?
Because Robinhood already had a good relationship with them, right? And so they've already like built products together, right?
We've also seen stuff on the timeline that was hinting at a larger partnership than what we've already seen from them.
I never seen that, but but I did see that Robinhood was like tokenizing securities, and when you think about anything that could have happened, you're thinking about ETH, way too expensive. You're thinking about Sol, the security's low, downtime not effective. Like that stuff puts stuff like securities out the window. You cannot use something like Sol. And then when you broke it down to the L2s, you looked at things like optimism. That's what base is built on. So you're like, oh, why wouldn't they just build with base? Oh, wait, but that's a competitor. Why would you do that? Right. So that limits optimism and base. So then you're like, okay, well, there's only a few left. You only got a few ZK sync rollups, Arbitrum, there's like only a few left. And then that's where that relationship with Robinhood made sense, that Arbitrum was going to be where they built it at. And in this structure that they're building isn't built out yet, but when it is, they're going to transfer all of these let's just call them RWAs onto there. And they also announced at the end of it stablecoins were coming. So he did hint at the Paxos collaboration for USDG that Brittany's been talking about for a while. That stablecoin's coming out, which is, just to remind everybody, that's the stablecoin that pays everyone in the network to use the network. It's not just a regular stablecoin where the puppet masters collect the yield. It's not a yielding stable coin where you just get to hold it and you get to collect it. It's a network stable coin. So you once, using it and participating in the network gets you yield. So it's going to be a different type. And that one's also partnered with Kraken. So just a lot of info.
What seems to be done is to mint volume, transaction volume, like moving and happening on the chain, usage on the chain. And that's where people are getting rewarded, is for using it, not for holding it, staking it, and not using it, right? Because that's what staking basically is holding it and not using it. It sounds like this is going to be more about like, hey, we want to create flow and traffic on our chain, and we'll reward you for that.
Yeah, so look out for that stablecoin. That will be hitting all markets. And what this stablecoin will unlock is, in this new Robinhood blockchain, it's going to unlock 24/7 markets. Right now, we're sitting at 24/5 markets, thanks to Robinhood getting us there. But we want to get to an open market, a real true open market, where we can make money throughout the day.
So I found that it was in February that we were talking about Robinhood and Arbitrum. That's almost 4 months ago.
Bro. She came with receipts.
She don't play. She was early. She was like really talking about it in my ear a lot with the Arbitrum and the USDG, and I was watching Robinhood banking grow so much. I'm paying attention to that, but Brittany always makes sure that we pay attention to the crypto side of these companies. So, yeah, that's where we're digging in.
See what happened on the price on this. So this was the 30th. So they saw a significant pump.
Oh, well then, yeah, that would have been the day that it was announced, right? Yeah.
ETH pumped at least 5% just on the heels of that announcement as well. So the swing and the pull that Robinhood has on the markets right now, it's undeniable.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hearing too, is at least on the crypto side, one of the discussions that was had is that where are the stables going to live? What's going to happen? So everyone's kind of upset that ETH hasn't done anything, right? That it's just kind of like sat there and like at that price and hasn't really done much. But they're go ahead.
ETH, the asset, hasn't done much in price action.
Right.
But the ecosystem and the layer has done, just like, we got to talk about it. Let's give it some praise. We got to at least acknowledge that. But I think that we will see some price action with some clarity, with some stable coins announcement, with some USDG announcements. But ETH is doing a lot. She's just not doing as much as an asset right now as we'd like her to do. But if people stopped abusing L2s, we might get back to growing ETH as an asset.
Which even leads us to TradFi companies are using ETH in their treasuries now. So you got like companies like ticker symbol SBET. They want to do like a micro strategy for ETH, right? And then you have other people like professional analysts like Tom Lee getting really bullish behind things like Ethereum too, because they understand what Brittany and I and Laura had already been talking about on the show months ago, that stable coins, ironically, we're going to bring back Ethereum. And here we are right here getting into summer, and this boring asset that we stared at for 4 years, which were called stable coins, are literally bringing back Ethereum. And they're bringing us back so much that stable coins are being talked at the Bitcoin conferences. They're being talked about at permissionless. And that's all you need to know, is you don't even need to go to these events. Stable coins, stable coins, stable coins. Learn about your stable coins.
And the other point that I want to bring up is that that's all going to happen on L2. That's like, It's not going to happen on L1. All of those stables are going to be happening and settling on an L2. So
Well, but think about it. When you settle on an L2, you eventually have to settle on an L1. So it doesn't matter. The L1 always wins. It's not gonna directly be used. Yeah. So
yeah. Beautiful. I love that. That was a great one for to talk about the what's happening there. I have a conspiracy or cap for you guys, and I need you guys. I need to.
what is it? I saw the Comcast on the notes, and I was like, "What is it? What is he talking about?"
Let's see what we got here. All right, I want your take. Okay, I want your take. And then, should we buy it or should
watching you through your Wi-Fi now? Xfinity just rolled out something called Wi-Fi Motion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It tracks movement inside your home using nothing but your Wi-Fi signals. No cameras, no sensors, just your router blasting invisible waves and reading how they bounce off your body. That's not Wi-Fi anymore. That's a radar. You walk across the room, it knows. You open a door, it knows. You sit still too long, it knows. It's a motion detection through your internet. And the craziest part? It's already built into the router, just waiting to be activated. Most people won't even realize they've installed live surveillance in their own home. Xfinity calls it a feature, but this isn't smart tech. It's a silent wireless tracking system. And once your router can map your movements, you're not just connected, you're monitored constantly. This is how the surveillance state gets in. Not with cameras, but with conveniences. Not with force, but with features. And by the time people figure it out, the cage is already built.
What's
These
the take?
TikTokers, man. Go ahead, Bert.
I've been on it. I'm sorry. We've been talking about it. We'll never have a smart meter in our home. We will, no matter how much money we have, we will always have a gas range. We'll never have security like ADP, like the the ones that you put in your front yard. We'll never have.
I can't even sleep with a phone in my room.
We don't even sleep with phones in our rooms. We turn the phone off and put it in the living room. We are so strict on this shit. Also, it's not just your Wi-Fi that's tracking. They are now these light bulbs that can track you. There's just so many things, and it's so true. You're inviting this nation to watch you in with conveniences, and that is so true. It's where the
Look at Brittany's phone. This shit got a blocker right on the front. She does not play.
I'm not playing about that. Like, yeah, we don't use. I don't use the face scanning. We don't use the Hey Siri, Hey Alexa. That bitch is always listening. There's so much that yes, it's so convenient for your life, but they are always watching. And Edward Snowden didn't put himself in exile and do all of that for us to just freely invite all of this like surveillance. We didn't. This is not what I don't know. And this is why it's so important to have Bitcoin, because that leads back to the surveillance of our money and everything. All roads lead back to Bitcoin. But yeah, don't let these conveniences of the modern world, such as, using a microwave instead of a range because you want your food done faster. Like, I don't know. We need to have a whole talk about it.
Okay, but let's get down to the meats and potatoes of the question, Brit.
I think I would definitely invest in it because
this is Xfinity. These are the people who do Bravo. These are the people who make
Housewives.
Housewives.
I invest in so many things I would never consume. I invest in so many things that I would never use. I invest in, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Like what?
So many ETFs that holds probably.
All right, that's indirectly. What do you directly invest in that you would never use?
I'm invested in Lockheed. I'm invested in Palantir. I'm invested in.
You use those. You protect the nation.
True. Okay. I invest in tobacco. I don't use tobacco
anymore.
There's things, but I'm gonna invest in those that want to use that surveillance technology to their own demise. I will be implementing it in my life, my household, telling all my family and friends. We don't have the health tracker on. We don't know how we walk 10,000 steps because I'm not selling my biometrics data to Apple and the like and all these people. Yeah, no Fitbits for me. No Apple Watch. No, thank you.
Wait, I thought this ring was to help how I sleep.
No Kudos. I'm sorry. Shout out Kudos, but I will not be giving anybody that kind of biometrics data. We don't need it. We don't want it. No, thank you.
All right. So obviously this guy's TikTok isn't going to move the market. Clearly, but what are we looking at here? Is this red? Yeah. Is that what I'm understanding? What's happening here? Oh, we are
Yeah, it
down.
looks like it's down on the 5-year. Not horrible.
Zoom out,
Oh.
do the
Get
3
your-
month and then do the year to date.
Yeah, get
All
your get your mouse off the chart.
Why?
3 months, and then let me see the year to date. Let me see the 1 year. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
horrible. It's been stagnant for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna grow your capital there. They have a dividend though. They've spun off of a couple of companies as well.
I don't know if they're in growth mode right now, though.
I mean, they have Peacock, the streaming service. They own Bravo. We used to look at some of the stuff that they own. They own the news that we watch every day on YouTube, as far as NBC and all MSNBC and all that stuff. That's Comcast.
Squawk Box, yeah.
Yeah, that's all Comcast. So I mean, they're big in the financials. They have a whole financial sector. They have the reality television. I mean, even from what you're showing, they got the cable stuff still going with Xfinity. So
Yeah, but when it
they
comes
have a
to
lot of assets. They
streaming,
have a lot of debt though.
I don't think that they're like really with Apple and what's the other one right now? Amazon Prime. I don't think that they're up there with those streaming services right now. I think when it comes to streaming, they're kind of on the
People don't
on the
even
back.
realize Peacock is them. But if you look at that little NBC Universal thing,
Yeah,
it's literally
I don't know
Peacock.
how you wouldn't know. I mean, it's obvious that it's NBC. I mean, I'd be shocked that people don't connect the
Right.
two.
Yeah.
The
and,
brand is right there.
I'm not buying them. No, like I said, the most of the opportunities I'm looking for are in the crypto space with TradFi. And I mean, to be honest, I'm happy that I found this most recent company, which was Fold App. I was even looking into like WeFunder, like crowdfunding websites, like Equities In, and like trying to figure out like where can I place 5 to 10K at, that I feel like aligns with my morals, aligns with my future, aligns with things that I believe in. And I was like, oh, a personal finance Bitcoin company. They're the first Bitcoin, like 100% Bitcoin company that's ever been on the stock market. Like when you think about that, that alone is like,
Wait, who is that? I'm sorry, you said?
Fold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they're made by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. And their business model, just like Robinhood's was when I found it, is perfectly aligned with shareholders. And so trading right here at 450, it traded around like 420, 28, 20.
If you bought that
today.
dip to 418 earlier this week, you're definitely up. I got in on IPO, and I want to say how they rolled that out, that they would be going public. So beautiful, honestly, for such like a quiet company. I want to say they've been around since the first bull market of 2021. Everybody was, swiping for sats on the Fold app, but they released the credit card for Bitcoin cashback while everybody was talking about it, flooding to the app to apply to get, I'm waitlist number 1400 on the waitlist. Right after that, after you signed up, they sent the email saying, hey, we're going public. By the way, we're going public. So that was beautiful. Even though this card isn't going to get rolled out for months to come, they need to up their user base. They need to up assets under management. So they need people to know, hey, this is what we're offering now, but we're also going public. Yeah, they're down at least 50% since initial public offering, but I think it's a great buying opportunity. It's just like Robinhood, we went back to 16. We're all the way back up to, we kissed 100 this week. So definitely you're early for Fold.
And I see an opportunity like that.
There you go. Hold on. I want to talk about that. You see some strong price predictions for this. And I when I tell you, dude, like I genuinely believe what you're telling me because of the way I say it over and over. These guys, Eddie and Britt, they go through line by line on this. And I've been educated a lot on Fold in the terms that they are an undervalued asset. But what is your price prediction for Fold in 5 years? Or give me your short term and long term on here.
Honestly, I think a base for where Robinhood, for Fold should be is $20. I think a base for Fold is $20, and that would be just the beginning. And that's an easy 4x from here. You know what I'm saying? 5x from here. So if I'm thinking about that, I also look at these warrants as well. There's this other ticker. It's called FLDDW, and this is basically a promise that you can buy the Fold stock at $11 by like 2028 or something, right? So immediately off of my head, I'm like, if the company wanted to sell warrants, they're already thinking they're worth $11. So that this got to be the easiest double that you ever bought. looking at prices today. Yeah, this is it. Fold holdings warrant. Yes, FL. Yep, that's it. And so if you bought, let's just say you bought 1,000 of these shares, and that would be 70 whatever. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
$761 right now. This would basically get you good for 3 years, but what it's saying is you're gonna buy the Fold app at $11. So if Fold even reached $11 or $12, these would 10x. Do you understand that? Because these would have to go back to $11 at the very least if Fold went up to $11.
so like it would go to like $7.60 so that you have the option to buy at 11.
But the market is going to still weigh in the time. And so since you have time, and since it depends how close we are to 2028 or expiration of these warrants, you would be able to capital or just sell those back to the market. You wouldn't even have to use those to buy Fold at 11. You just sell your Fold at $10 or $9, right? And since Fold's warrants are trading under $1, you'd be able to capitalize on an easy 10x. So those are two real quick things that I look at. But when I'm looking at Fold, the company, they literally were trading at under 200 million market cap today. That's $199 million. They have, because Bitcoin was up today, they have $160 million worth of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Do you guys see what I'm saying with that? Does that make sense? So this is literally like a small difference right there, where it's like 199 minus 164 is, less than 40 million. The company is definitely worth more than 40 million. Like just looking at the company from its bare bones, And so that right there just screams opportunity to me. And an asymmetric opportunity at that. But those are the things that just shoot out at me. I'm just thinking warrants. I'm thinking price appreciation. I'm thinking Bitcoin treasury. And then I'm thinking management. Will Reeves we've been watching interviews of him like all freaking day today. And yeah, he's just a great CEO to see.
I was going to ask you so can you explain to me, you know what I mean? A layman. Eddie looks lost. Eddie doesn't look lost ever. Eddie's fucking locked in. Let me tell you what, this is locked in Eddie. No, I'm the one that's lost, by the way. So with me being lost, can you fucking tell me, can you explain a warrant to me? All right. So when I think a warrant, I think somebody needs to get arrested. They got a warrant out. They got to grab this motherfucker and take him to court.
So what it means is that basically you're offering someone to pay. It's basically like an option, but it's in stock form. And you're basically paying someone to buy an underlying business at a certain price by a certain time. So all warrants aren't the same, but this warrant will expire in 2028, I believe, like the end of 2028. And it because it's trading so low, it was trading at $11. If you just can think, hey, this could possibly get back to $11, I mean, that's an easy 10x too. But I mean, all warrants could be different, but what people mostly think about as warrants is what Warren Buffett did back in the day when the recession happened in 2008. What he did was a huge warrant deal with the big banks, and he was able to give them a bunch of money for warrants to say, hey, by this date, I can execute and buy this stock at this price. And he waited for a long time years after the stock had price depreciated a lot. And then he cashed in on his warrants and he bought all of those stocks back for very, very low because he had those warrants. He redeemed them. And so that's where most people would associate the warrant fiasco with, is like someone needs to raise capital. So you give them that capital, and now they have a promise to you over the next couple of years. As long as that stock price gets to that price that was agreed upon, they can execute. You're obviously not going to execute if the price was trading lower. You just buy it from the market. So I hope that makes sense. I hope HD's not lost.
Yeah, but does that also mean that, like, say that it's reached 10, somebody might still buy this for 5?
But the warrant was for $11 purchase.
Yeah, the warrant is to buy Fold at $11.
Now,
yeah, because the stock actually IPO'd at 14.
Okay, so when you say that it expires, you mean that it's like they giving themselves a self deadline to get this motherfucker up to 11.
It's an agreed upon deadline, but yeah, I guess you can, if you're buying it on your own free will, then yeah, you're giving yourself the deadline. Yeah, that's a good way to
Excellent.
look at it.
I love it. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Let me see here. See that what I've got to do is stop screen, and I have to go into there we go. All right, so the next one is the homie wants us all to be trans. That's wild. He wants us all to be
For the human race to endure, right?
Uh,
You're
yeah,
hesitating.
well,
yes,
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions.
These guys, dude, sometimes the thing that I hate is fucking how long it takes for them to land the plane. Like how long it takes for them to fucking speak or to say something. I don't know why it bothers me. It just does. And then when somebody asks you, should the human race continue? He's like, I don't know. And it makes me uncomfortable. I don't know. So this is slow moving, but he does land the plane.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and a transsexual is someone where you change your, penis into a vagina, and we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul, and you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other,
where,
wait.
I'm sorry. Philosophical at some point.
You change yourself through works and enlightenment,
discipline,
not through freaking surgeries. We've had this whole transhumanism talk, and we spoke about this in probably 2023, 2024, when all of the visuals at the Sphere, EDM festivals, everything was really transhumanism. And it was like
the futuristic giant robots.
In the visuals, they're plugging into the cortex. It's the whole cord coming in, the cortex, the real life, all that kind of stuff. We've been speaking about this for 2-3 years since Elon's Neuralink. And doing that whole debate, since the WorldCoin thing, doing that whole debate, transhumanism it's coming. It's coming with the same thing as transspeciesism. I feel like these people trying to turn into dogs and cats. It has all hand in hand.
Eddie, you're looking fucking like you're either deep in thought, super skeptical. If you're here's another thing that I can see you do. You're going like this, and you're like, she said this fucking 3 years ago. You're like seeing the implant in the back of your head. That's what I'm envisioning is going on in your mind, but I got to know what it is.
I'm just thinking about it's exciting as an investor, but the investor in the markets are the ones that actually perpetuate this. So it's like, if the funding never goes into a company with these ideas and stuff, that will never happen. Right. But
the seed has been planted for at least the past 4 years, to the point that the funding is happening behind the scenes. We're waiting for regulatory clarity in that transhumanism space, so that people that are already doing these things can come out and do it publicly and get funding for it. Just like
and then they make it look like convenience,
cloning,
and it's
just
really
like cloning, where cloning was only for sheep, cattle, and pigs, and then finally, we got our first public human clone that was not legal. And then they came out when it was legal, but this person was already 16 years old. So things are always happening behind the scenes.
And now you can get stem cells over the counter.
Okay, wait. When they're happening behind the scenes, who is it that's investing in them? Where's the money coming from?
Private equity. That's private debt. That's things that people are getting okay, we always talk about this. When Back to the Future was made, who's the guy that has Parkinson's? You know who I'm talking about? He had access to go and
Marty McFly.
No, what's his real name?
That's his name.
Okay, well, the lead actor had access to go to these experimental stem cell research clinics that it was completely illegal to harvest stem cells from unbirthed babies back then. But if you were elite, you had the access to that. My aunt unfortunately died of PD. They both got diagnosed at the same time. They both worked on that movie together, Back to the Future, and he is still alive today. So this stuff is out there. The access to this medical care, this access to transhumanism, this access to being the limitless by surgery, chemical compounds, whatever. But it's happening. We just need to be. We don't know about it because we're not the top.
Yeah, I think I'd rather not compete at that point. Like for real, I'm not interested in having anything hooked up to my brain. I'm not interested in having anything like I'm not looking to be cyborg. I would really just enjoy my boat, my fucking little cottage somewhere, and fucking die out on a lake.
But then do you think it comes to the point of either you just get crushed by these cyborgs, or you have to like kind of you have to cyborg up so that you can take care of yourself in that apocalyptic world? Or you just gonna be like, I'm a human and I'm just gonna die out with my species, or are you gonna change?
No, I don't think about it like cyborgs though. Think about it like Inspector Gadget. Like you just have all this shit going on in you. You can do whatever you want. Utility,
bro.
And then there's a button right here that goes utility, and you can just like Money Marsh right here. He asked about BMNR.
Utility.
I forgot about what's the name of this? Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Looks like they went up 133% today, and this is in regards to that news that we were talking about earlier with the Ethereum treasuries. So this is pretty cool though, that some of these companies are getting bids. You got analysts like Tom Lee that are very bullish on the ETH and Bitcoin companies right now. So I think something could be coming. Like people are saying there's not enough Bitcoin out there. ETH is due for a jump. Like we've all been waiting for the candle. And just like Brittany said earlier in the show, it's like Ethereum, the blockchain has done great things and they're still doing amazing things. But this ETH, the asset, needs to actually like turn into the product that it's supposed to be. And it needs to be coveted like that. Cause if we don't have these treasuries creating buying pressure on it, we're never going to get back to even all-time highs for Ethereum. But it's a good thing.
Laura, when you were talking about Fold valuation and what you see it happening, I see companies like Fold and Robinhood and Strategy going absolutely parabolic once we don't have so much price action on Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin is pretty steady and level and we are holding and it's an actual store of value, it's not really, you're not investing for the growth of it, and there's way less Bitcoin, I think that at that point, everybody will be flocking to these companies to get their access to Bitcoin because maybe it's out of their price range. We talk about Bitcoin at 109K right now. We're talking about Bitcoin at 500K.
And I think Fold has a better position in the cycle when it comes to these Bitcoin miners like this, when you're thinking about crypto exchanges like Coinbase, when you're thinking about TradFi markets like Robinhood. I think that, or even just regular Bitcoin and ETH treasuries like MicroStrategy and SBET. When you're thinking about those, you're not realizing that the cyclicality of these are going to actually be very, very strong. So when we're in a bear market, it's going to be very, very bear. And when we're in a bull market, it's going to cycle up hard. But where I like Fold at is they're meeting everybody where the crypto and convenience meet. And so they're able to basically give you rewards for buying food, give you rewards for buying gas, and buying food and gas never ends, no matter what cycle you're in, bear, bull, whatever. So it's like you want to position your own portfolio in a place that is a sure thing. But there's a lot of risk in the market. So I'm not going with the miners. I'm going to mostly focus on the products that I like for Bitcoin, which is credit cards, ETFs, exchanges. That's kind of where I see it. I don't really like the miners, to be honest, but that's just my opinion, Marshall.
On the topic of Bitcoin for me, and I mean, just talking about miners, talking about all of this, and this is coming from somebody who recently lost a majority of my shit.
Lost it all. How he lost it all.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a lot, but for me, it was like, fuck, you know what I mean? It's a bummer, but it made me sit there and think, okay, man, you it's gone. So what is your new strategy? Because when something like this happens, you have to come up with a new strategy. It's not like I can be pissed off or whatever, but I'm not leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no crying in the casino. So it's like, what do I do now? For me, and I plan to write about this in our blog that you'll be able to subscribe to soon, coming to Substack. You guys will want to check that out. But my new strategy right now is I know this feeling, and there's FOMO right now at Bitcoin at 109K, and it's like, I got to get in. It's going to go up, but I got to remember that I'm fucking seasoned in this shit. And I know that what goes up is eventually going to come down. And statistically, when you look at the bull versus the bear and where it's at, it can drop. I mean, as low as like 70%. So I think right now for my time, I would like to put into fold. I think I'm going to have a little exposure there. But I also think that what I'm going to do is I'm putting money aside. Instead of buying Bitcoin right now, I'm going to put all those dollars aside, and I'm saving for two events. It's either going to be for the big drop that's eventually going to come, that bear market drop at 70% or 60% or 50%. I'll buy it at a 50% discount, or a black swan event. But to have enough capital on the sidelines to be able to like jump in at that moment and be like, I'm fucking in. And now I've got more than I would have when I eventually when I lost. And so I don't know. I'd love to get you guys' take on that.
I think holding those dollars that you're saving in yielding stables. Chef's kiss. Easy to convert. Beautiful.
I have some cash on the side too, because I'm always prepared for something to go haywire, right? But what I would say is don't try to time the market, because it's never going to happen. You might be sitting on the sideline, and instead of being able to tell someone, hey, I had $1,000 of Bitcoin under 100K, Bitcoin trends up to 500K, and now you're just sitting with your hands in your pockets, you know? So, I mean, there is that way to look at it. I would just, always be on the lookout for opportunities where this crypto and TradFi stuff meets, whether that be at the IPO, whether that be at the SPAC level, or whether that just be at an undervalued situation like we're looking at right now with Fold. So just, I wouldn't try to time it so much, to be honest.
Yeah, DCA while you're, saving up your energy for a large deployment. But in the meantime, definitely don't forget to DCA.
And this is another thing, though, where I really think about Fold on the daily, though. And I keep bringing it back. It's like, there's just so much that I love about it. And this right here brings it up to me right now, a budget neutral strategy for stacking Bitcoin. It's like, you don't have to buy Bitcoin at 109, but you deserve to earn Bitcoin every time you pay your bills, you buy food, you put gas in the car, you go swipe for fast food. You deserve some Bitcoin every time. And I promise you, when you look at your rewards for that, it's going to literally dunk on any airline rewards, any credit card points you had. And it's honestly unbelievable that I haven't thought of.
Is it more than 4%?
Some of them are. Yeah. I just bought Brittany a Cheesecake Factory gift card. She was like, oh, I want to go to Cheesecake. I said, hold up. Or I said, fold up. And then I went to my Fold app, and then I found a $25 Cheesecake Factory, got 6% back. She went and spent the Cheesecake Factory gift card, and I'm happy because I got to win. I got something out of it. It wasn't just like, oh, I got to go over there and get some dessert. And then we're like, I got to use that. This is my first time buying the gift card from them. So I was like doing some DD in there. And yeah. And when I think about where the credit card can go, where I think about where the gift card can go, when you
the gift card is so cool, because I just pissed my mom off the other day. Then check your email, sent you some Bitcoin and a gift card. So that is pretty cool.
And the best, and when you buy this Bitcoin gift card, you're going to buy it at like any Kroger store. You're going to go to Ralph's, buy this orange card, says Bitcoin, powered by Fold app. You're going to have to redeem it in the Fold app. And then, that's just part of the onboarding thing. And I'm seeing a lot of parallels of where this can go. So hold up.
You got to send me, give me a link to that Fold up, to the Fold up app.
It's Fold app.
You don't have it yet?
No, I don't.
I've sent it.
Gosh, bro.
Anyways, so you can, without buying anything,
I own the stock, but I don't have the app.
Without buying anything from there, without signing up for anything, you can literally stack sats every day just by spinning their wheel. And that's cool too, because that's so Bitcoin native, like where people used to be giving away Bitcoin back in the day, and Bitcoin faucets, you go on the website and get some. And it's like, that's where I see That's where I like this app, is that Bitcoin neutral strategy that everybody should be thinking of. The businesses, the companies, and your personal finance strategy. Like all of them should incorporate a neutral way to stack Bitcoin so that you can see how big it is. Like that's what really that's what really clicked it for me, is I seen, wow, I've only been swiping this for 7 days and I have $10 back in Bitcoin. Like what the hell? Like it doesn't even make sense to me, because points and airline rewards would never go this far.
Could never.
They would never. You guys want to keep going? You want to clip it here? What do you want to do?
Let's wrap it up and keep them coming back for more next week.
You got it. We got tons
more.
of stuff that we can cover. I guess I do want to share how silly we are. I do have that. Give me just
You got
a
the
sec.
intro for Brittany so we can close out with the report?
No, but we can create one right now. I'd love if Brittany could like really shout out. It's the roll-up report, and then I'll be able to clip that and use it. Can you do that for me, Brittany?
It's the fold-up report.
No,
It's the roll-up report.
no,
I need
right
really-
next to the mic. You got to get right up to the mic. There you go.
Hold on.
It's the roll-up report.
Brilliant. I'll be able to use that.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the show where crypto and TradFi converge. All of us media team back from NOTNFTNYC. If you'd like to be added to the chat or have some photos to post, definitely hit us up. Love to see it. Q2 has officially come to a close and Q3 has arrived, coming in hot. The S&P closed today at 6,279, up 0.83% from previous day. We had two new all-time highs this past week with the S&P 500. Bitcoin is at 109,501. ETH is at 2591. Sol is at 152. Just a few things in the markets this week. Cryptos are David Sachs says July is going to be a huge month for crypto. Lock in now, guys. Percent hints at stablecoin legislation being finalized mid-July. You're early. Robinhood launches ETH and Sol staking at the Cannes event to catch a token along with private access to debt such as OpenAI and SpaceX via stock tokens. Ripple and Circle both applied for banking charter licenses, further pointing to regulatory clarity coming in the near future. That concludes today's report, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Fuck yeah. And then I'm just going to send us out a cute video that Gorgeous got of us at NOTNFTNYC, and it just gives me happy vibes. So here we go.
Now pose, do a different pose, get closer together, do a different pose. All right, we'll scream.
She's a great director.
Yo, we killed that.
I just
I don't know what you guys did. I wasn't watching anybody else with me.
that's just one of the things that gives me the warms inside. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna wrap it up for this edition of Not Financial Advice. You can catch us on Monday. We'll be doing a space talking about crypto, different stuff like that. And then you're going to see it on the stream. We also have some exciting things coming up for you in the coming weeks. You can count on us launching a new website. We're converting from All of Us Radio to AOU Media. You're going to be getting a new newsletter that's coming through. But stick with us, man, for the ride. We're also planning something really, really big for Vegas, ApeCoin, ComplexCon. So if you would like to be a part of that, if you're a sponsor and you're like, hey, man, I see where this is going and I want to be a part of it, now's the greatest time to get involved. And if you don't reach out to us, guarantee I'm going to be reaching out to you. I'm going to be in your emails. I'm going to be knocking.
We partner with the best.
You're partnering with the best. And yeah, man, until then, have fun, be safe, do community service. Peace.